Hello, my name is Dario Ernesto, and my goal here is to teach you how to program with practical example projects from the real life. I want to start telling you this content is also available in French and Spanish in this same channel. So today I'm going to show you how to create a weather app in a simple way, just using HTML, some style with CSS, and of course JavaScript. The first step is to create a folder for the project. You can call that whatever you want. I just created this folder named weather app and opened the folder in Visual Studio Code. So we have here three files: a typical index.html, a CSS file for the style, and the .js file. I named it app.js. But as I said before, you can use any name as long as it has the correct source linked in the script tag right here. Now, I don't want to stay and explain too much the HTML and CSS. This is just a basic structure of HTML and just some style in the CSS file, nothing fancy, nothing complex. Don't worry about the code. I will let you the repository in the description. But what about the HTML? I want to explain something. We have here two div elements. This first one with the input and this in the bottom, and this second div with three paragraphs: location, temperature, and description. We don't see them, but let me check the console in the browser. I have the live server open. This is an extension. Live server is an extension from Visual Studio Code. So if we open the console, we can check here the div with the ID weather info, and inside this div we have location, temperature, and description. This is where we're going to put the information brought from our source. And in this specific case, the source is an API called openweathermap.org. This is the website, and it's a place where you can find pretty useful tools, great quantity of services. So let me explain you how to use just some of them. So let's get back to the JavaScript to program our application and use the OpenWeather API. The first step is to call the elements in the HTML document, and we're gonna do that using a query selector method. So first we need to create a variable with the keyword cons. Let's name it search btn. Search btn, right? And within search btn we want to assign the value of the search button, right? So we use document query selector and within the brackets we put the ID of the element. In this case the ID is search btn. Search btn. Okay, perfect. Now we do the same for input. Const search input document query selector for search input. Search input. Okay. Now we do the same for the three paragraphs elements where we will put the data. Okay, const location, let's name it location EL. We assign here document.query selector for the ID location. Let me just copy here location, the same for temperature, the same for description. I select location, Control D, temperature, I select location, Control D, and description. Perfect. Now, the next step is to apply an event handler for the bottom, for this bottom here. Let me close here, okay. And for that purpose, we just use the add event listener method for the search btn dot add event listener, and we're gonna say that to our when the click event occurs, react. Okay, just when the click event occurs, react running the following code. This is an arrow function. First, creating a variable named city, and inside this box, within this variable, we will put the info typed by the user in our input. To do that, we say we want to assign the value of search input inside our count city. So we code count city equals search input dot value. We can check this dot value like that. We can check this with a console log of city like that, and checking the console in the browser. When we type something, maybe just type London search, we now have here the result or the value of the input stored in our variable called city. And this city name, this variable, is the name we will use in the URL for the request we're just gonna open in this next line. The request, but there are different ways to do this. We're trying to do this as much as simple as possible as we can. So today we're using the method fetch. Fetch is an easy way to create requests for a server, and the source we're gonna use in this project is this open weather app. So let me just open. When you open this website, I want you to access to click in API, and don't worry about all the different services we have here. I want just to focus in this first one, current weather app API doc. Click here, and specifically in this project, we want to call the current weather data from the city name, right? Therefore, we scroll down until we find this built-in geocoding right here. Oh, built-in geocoding, and you can call by city, built-in API request by city name. You can call by city name or city name, state code, and country code. We just keep it simple. Copy this first one and paste that link into the fetch. Let's open template strings, and now we have our link, or the link to the API. But if we check, let me just open the Postman here. and check for this URL. Okay, it's opening. Okay, let's create a new request. Let's create a new request for this API. Don't save. Let's create a new request and paste the link. When I maximize here, when I click send, we can see the response is a 401 invalid. That's because we need to add the city name and not just the city name but the API key. We know the city name is the value from the input in our API, but the API key is a code that the same open weather gives to us. But first you need to sign up and then open this menu here. This menu here. Click my API keys. When you open this, you will see something like this. Open Weather Map gives you by default a key. You can generate or create as much as you want. Just take into account it lasts 2 hours to activate. So I just create this one. We can use any of this. Let's use this. Copy and paste in your URL. Let me put this here. Copy this to replace this place of this part of the URL. And now we can check again our Postman. Let me see. And we need a name for a city. Let's try London, or let's try Paris. Send. Okay, this responds with this file. This is a JSON file. We can check that in the headers. Content type application JSON chart set UTF-8. In the body, we have all these properties of this in this JSON file. Now we need to handle the response and convert this JSON file, this format, into an object in our JavaScript. So let's do that. How can we do that with Fetch? Easy. Well, first the URL, this city name. We won't type here manually Paris or London. We want this to be dynamic, right? So we use city using our template strings. We just set here city. Whoa, like that. Yeah, city. And now we handle the response using then. The method .then, we're gonna say the response will be parsed by the method response.json. Perfect. Now we have the response transformed into an object, and now we want that object to be stored in a variable called data, and that data will be the information, or that variable data is the object we will use to draw the different properties, the name, the temperature, and description that we're gonna put in our API. We're gonna show to the user. So we're gonna say that location L dot test content, and we will assign the data name. This comes from here. Let me show you the Postman. Data name. This is our data, okay? All this is our data, and this is the property name. Whatever is the value the user add or type in our input will be shown here. So this is the data dot name. Next is temperature. So temperature el dot text content. Temperature. Oh, let me open this template strings. Temperature. Okay, columns. Temperature is here inside this other property called main, right? So let me use the template strings like that and say data.main dot tmp. That will be the value of temperature, but remember this is a value in degree of Fahrenheit. So let's add the units for Fahrenheit. And finally the description el, and we will assign the description here. Description is inside weather. So let me open another template string. Oh, description text content. Remember, text content like that. Let me open template strings and say description inside the brackets data dot weather, the index 0. You see, this is the index. Oh, this is the index 0, and inside that index 0 we have the description. This description, just like that. Perfect. That's it. Now we can check the functionality of our API. Let's try it. Let me minimize here. Let's try our API and type here maybe New York. Search. And it's working. Now I want to look for Amsterdam. It's working. It's perfect. Now you have your own weather app. You can customize as long as you need, but remember you will need to get an app key and replace it on your own project. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to click in the like button and to subscribe to more content like this.